Well, hello, my YouTube channel, and welcome back to Story Time with Lady Mac. I know, guys, it's been a while since I've done a reading for you, and I'm here, and I'm going to do it, and I'm really excited. But first, we have to talk business. I wrote this book. This is my book. These are my words. I am not infringing on anybody's rights. Just, you guys understand that, but as this video goes through its cycle of being checked, I wrote this. Okay, this is for me. If you'd like a copy of this book, it's called Another Woman's Sins, and it touches on a couple that meet when they're young. It's not about like their young life. It mentions they were young lovers, like 17 and 19, and then they go their separate ways. And the book is around the idea that Mac, the guy who's now much older and is involved in a heavy life of crime, is asked to do something awful for his boss, which he agrees, and then it turns out to be to his first love. So it's a doozy of a book. And the part I'm going to read for you today I've not read before. I did have another video of this during a reading, which was completely wiped from this platform. Got me in a lot of trouble, even without saying certain things. Which leads me to something I wanted to talk about before I jump into this reading. Would you guys be interested if I took some of the material I put on my platform and moved it over to a podcast? The reason being because this chapter alone that I'm about to read, I have to cut a lot of stuff out simply because certain words or phrases can't be used on here, and they're not even like explicit or inappropriate. It's just this platform in particular has become very strict with certain guidelines, and I keep getting in trouble, and I don't want to do that. So if you're following along, I'm going to be reading chapter 6, but I have to leave some stuff out. In fact, I have to leave the entire first paragraph out because I just can't work around that. But it's not R-rated in the sense that I could totally read it on a podcast to you guys, and it could just be like Story Time with Lady Mac over there, and you could just listen to the full thing. I thought about doing that for a few things that I'd like to share, but especially for the reading. So please let me know, share something in the comments if that's something you're interested in, because I would love to get back into doing more explicit readings, but I have to tiptoe around all of these guidelines. So all that is to say, I have a reading for you. I'm reading from my book, mine. I'm not infringing on anybody's. I've gotten in trouble for that too, that I was infringing on copywritten material, and I'm over here but I wrote it. It's my copyright material. I own the rights. So all that's to say, welcome to Story Time with Lady Mac. It's going to be a little bit of a quickie today. And I'm going to cut certain parts out again as I need to, but use your imagination. Mac not only scares the bejeebies out of me, standing there in my dark kitchen with only the light from the fridge glowing on him, staring at me with primal, hungry eyes. He scares me because for a split second, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know it was Mac. I didn't know he wasn't there to hurt me. And for that split second, I wanted him to. I have never felt or experienced anything like that in my life. I don't even know what came over me. I don't know why I reacted that way. And when I gasp and stumble, taking a quick step back, instinctively wanting to get away from his rock-hard chest and warmth and heat and put some distance between us, he reaches out so quickly, I hardly see him move, and then his large hand wraps around my upper arm, pulling me closer. And I'm glad about it, and still scared breathless. Why am I suddenly more than I've ever been in my life? If he kisses me, I will simply melt right here in a puddle of my own creation. I wonder if this is how Xena feels when Ivan sneaks in her window at night and something I wish I didn't know about my sister's life. But this is an old, thin-walled house, and I know more about everyone than I wish I did. I wonder what it would be like to wake up to find Mac in my bedroom. Wow, now I really can't breathe. I shake a little in his warm arm. His body heat is radiating off of him, into me. Standing this close up against him, he makes me feel really, really small and really vulnerable. Are you okay? He asks me, looking down with a smirk on his face. That's hard to read. When he smirks, that scar creases in the middle, making him look mean even when he's laughing, which is even more confusing now when I am desperate to know what he's thinking. Damn, the man is really tall. It is hard to read his face properly regardless. Is that humor, concern, desire that I can read on him? I have no idea why I'd think he'd desire me. It has to be a product of my lustful imagination, but my whole body flushes in embarrassment and need anyway. This man is older than me, dangerous, and has no business being interested in someone like me. Not when he could literally have any woman he wants. And yet, the look in his eyes, the flush in his skin, says otherwise. It says, and he's still holding me against him. His arm slides around my waist, tight, warm, and he is all I can smell. Everything about him is all-consuming to me, and I feel lightheaded. I tremble, my legs shaky, and instead of letting me go, giving us space, he pulls me closer so that my body is flush against his. His eyes never leave mine, staring at me so intently. What's wrong, Lily? He asks, looking down at me, his voice deep, dark, and holding an edge. Cat got your tongue? Do I scare you? Is that why you don't want to come down and party with us? With me? Oh my God, this is not happening. My voice catches in my throat. This man is already in my head, which is spinning with 100 questions and just as many scenarios of where this might go. I don't know how to answer him. His directness shakes me. My brain can't process what he's asking, why he's asking, and the fact that I can feel him. Not just his firm body against me or his fingers digging into my hip, but his straining through, pressing into my thigh, making me feel all kinds of things I'm not prepared for. Apparently, I'm not the only one of us who is. Embarrassment starts to creep in as I realize I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation, which only amplifies the thought that I am too young and too inexperienced for someone like Mac, and I have no business being in his arms. Someone could come upstairs and catch us, and both of our siblings will be big bad. Although I won't say that thought doesn't excite me. We keep staring at each other, my stomach in knots. I feel like I have to wait for him to say something, to make a move. And yet, he seems content to let this play out, to let me get uncomfortable, to watch me squirm. It seems he likes it. As my silence grows, so does his grin, his cheek pulling up along the scar that runs across it, giving him this menacing look. He leans down closer, and I can feel his hot breath on my face. Holy... Is he going to kiss me? What am I supposed to do? Let him? Close my eyes? Everything inside of me tightens. I feel like he's playing with me, toying with me. Cat got your tongue? Or something else? Can I have your tongue? He licks his lips as he finishes this, pulling his bottom one between his teeth. One of them has a small chip in it. It would probably pinch a little more when he bites down on something like me. Fireworks and warning bells light up inside of me simultaneously. This is dangerous. This is not happening. I should not be thinking these thoughts. I should not be here. There is no way I am letting Matt kiss me, touch me, and yet at the same time, something's drenched. I've never wanted a man to touch me more in my whole life. Just take me, even if it's wrong. Part of me is desperate for what he could do, what he could show me, what he could ask me to do, and what he could make me do. I am ready to drop to my knees and skip that old paragraph. I will do whatever he wants of me, and if I don't know how, he can teach me. Instead, in a moment of scared nervousness, I pull back, and he lets me go. I feel his warm fingers slightly grip my hip for just a second longer, and then his hand is gone, and I step back, putting a half a foot between us. It feels like the space fills with fire and electricity. You could cut the tension with a knife. Something burns inside of me. My screams at me for being an idiot. Pulling my lips between my teeth, shaking, I keep walking backwards, out of the kitchen, back towards the stairway upstairs, never taking my eyes off Mac. I don't trust myself to speak, convinced my voice will betray me, convinced he will say something to me, and I will have to answer. I need to get out of here before something happens. He never takes his eyes off me either, the entire time, watching me under dark hoods. The milk jug still in his other hand, the fridge door still open. See you soon, Lily, he says with a wink. And as I back around the corner and run like a scared little girl up to my bedroom, slamming the door behind me. I never got my water and salted soda crackers. I pout, and I lay down on my bed to replay the scene in my kitchen again, wondering just what had almost happened between us, wondering what it would be like if it did. Pressing my legs together against the delicious pressure building there as I lose myself to fantasy. Being hungry isn't worth it. Okay, I hope I skipped enough not to get in trouble, but I hope I left enough in there that you understood what I was implying the few times I had to skip it. The first paragraph is pretty good. There's a few in there that are pretty good. You should definitely check it out for yourself. You should grab a copy. I sign them with a little smoochy smooch. But you can also get them from Amazon and on Kindle Unlimited. But if you do want one like that, just go linked below and you will get one shipped from me. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know what you think of the podcast idea or literally anything, because I've tried so many different ways. Patreon was my closest, but because the videos could not go up privately on YouTube first, it just became an absolute stepping stone of so many more like curves. I had to do so many steps. I couldn't do it, and I don't have help. And I'm on my own, and I'm editing this very little, and you're just gonna love it the way it is. This is what you're getting. So, all that being said, maybe I can start doing story time on podcasts if that's something you guys would support, if you're interested in. And stay tuned, because I have a clip of my octopus story coming very soon, and it will be very similar to this, where it will be like the first chapter or so that definitely talks about and hints at some things, but does not share too much, that it will be A, spoiler for the book, or B, get me in trouble on here with words I can't say. So, all right, guys. Author Kristen McIntyre, Lady Mac out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. There are other readings on here that are probably not allowed to be, but they've slipped through the cracks. If you promise not to report them, go look through my channel and find those and give those a watch. I'm saying this at the end of the video because I'm assuming most people will not get this far, in which case the only people that will watch this far hopefully are not the people who will report me. Okay. Stay kinky, my friends. Keep reading, and we'll chat soon.